Welcome everyone to the Annie's Project Showcase. I'm Doris Mold. I am one of the co-CEOs of Annie's Project, and we're thrilled to have you with us today. Today we're going to be talking about the gateway to farm viability and sustainability through education, resources, and networking. And we are featuring West Virginia's Annie's Project, and they have a whole panel of people that are going to be talking about some of their experiences and talking about Annie's Project in West Virginia as well. We are celebrating 20 years this year. If you'd like more information about what we're celebrating and what all we're doing and up to, you can go to anniesproject.org, or you can visit any of our social media and see some of the things that we've been up to. We just came off of our 20th anniversary conference a couple of weeks ago, a terrific conference. I wish you had been there. I know Dee was there and Carisha were there, and we're thrilled to celebrate our 20 years. And so we're happy to offer this showcase and kind of extend that celebration throughout the country. We'd also like to thank Farm Credit for their support of this showcase series. And now I'd like to turn it over to my co-CEO and colleague, Carisha Devlin, to take us the rest of the way through our intro slides, and then we'll turn it over to our West Virginia Annie's folks.
Thanks, Doris. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have you with us today. Just wanted to give you a little background information about Annie's Project for those of you who may not be aware of who we are and what we do. This first slide shows our founder, Ruth Hambleton. Ruth founded the program 20 years ago, and it started with an 18-hour, the original Annie's Project, what we refer to as Annie's 101 class, and now it's grown to include several other curriculums and programs and showcases now, and a conference. So we continue to grow and look forward to the next 20 years. Where Ruth got the idea for Annie's Project was based on her mother. Her mother, Annette Fleck, grew up in town, ended up marrying a farmer, and through the course of her marriage, ended up being the one who became the farmer, the farm manager, after her husband decided to take a job in town. And Ruth grew up watching her mom learn from trial and error, from kind of the school of hard knocks. When she decided to put Annie's Project, the original Annie's Project, 18-hour program together, she thought about her mom and what were some things that would have helped her mom get up to speed quicker, or have helped her mom make the best decisions for their farming operation. So Annie's Project is dedicated to her mother, Annette, and based on Annette's real life experiences. Our final 20th anniversary event will occur on December the 12th at noon Central. And that event is going to be a celebration of Annette Fleck's birthday, and also talking about the future of Annie's Project, where we plan to go to from here. We've had several showcases throughout this year. They've been a lot of fun, and have been able to see some great programming and hear from different states and different educators, facilitators we have in those states. You can see those previous showcases listed on the slide. If you are interested in some of the topics and would like to access them, you can do so at our Annie's Project website or through our YouTube channel. And we do plan to continue our showcases into 2024. So if you enjoy the showcase, stay tuned, because next year we plan to highlight some more states. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Doris and let her talk about a new pilot program that we have going on.
We have a pilot program with Risk Management Agency. It's for underserved producers, which includes women, to learn how to become a crop insurance agent or loss adjuster. And this is part of a collaborative program. We're one of 4 pilot projects, and we have a number of people that have already signed up. But if you have a significant interest, we may have some openings in the future. You just need to contact Carisha or myself, and we'll put our information in the chat, and you can send us a note and we'll fill you in on more of that. We also wanted to let you know that we have 2 new cooperative agreements. We have one where we're working on new crop insurance education for underserved audiences, again with Risk Management Agency, and that's for this coming year. And then we also have an equity and conservation outreach cooperative agreement with NRCS, the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And both of these projects will include some new educational opportunities, both virtually and in person. So you'll see some coming events via the internet, and there will also be in-person events with both of these projects. So we're really looking forward to those. And now we're going to turn it over to our friends and colleagues from West Virginia, and they're going to talk about what's going on in West Virginia. So welcome, Dee. We'll have you introduce your panel and yourself, please. Thank you.
Right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So I am Dee Singh Knights. I am one of the Annie's Project facilitators here in West Virginia. And I am joined today by two facilitators, actually. We have Emily Morrow. She is also going to be helping me through these first couple slides. We do have Alexandria Smith, who's on here as well. She's another facilitator. And we do have a wonderful panel of 3 persons, 3 Annie's graduates that you will get to hear in a minute. So today we'll talk a little bit about the West Virginia Annie's Project, and that project being a gateway to farm viability and sustainability for our graduates. And we do that through education, resources, and networking. So as I said, today we're joined by 3 wonderful panelists, Brittany Ferris, Donna Brooke Alt, and Ladina Teets. And they will talk a little bit about their operation and how Annie's have helped them in that process. So just to give you a little bit of a background into the West Virginia Annie's Project, which might very well be different from a lot of what we see at the national level. Our West Virginia Women in Agriculture, as at the national level, they are crucial in preserving small farms, improving local food systems, enhancing rural economic and social development. We have had from the 2002 to 2017 census, we've had the number of female operators coming into agriculture have been increasing 3 times the national average. And at that time in 2012, we decided, listen, we've got to do something to serve this demographic. These women tend to be to operate small family farms. In fact, West Virginia has the highest number of small family farms per capita in the US. But our women also tend to lead diversified farms, limited operation farms, selling under 25,000, and most likely to have negative net income when it comes to farming. And so that places them more financially at risk and more dependent on off-farm income. So a lot of part-time operators. The goals of West Virginia Annie's Project, like at the national level, we focus on helping farm women build viable and profitable agribusinesses and be better business partners to preserve that small family farms that I spoke about. But we're also really interested in helping these women understand their role in the food system and especially with direct markets in West Virginia. And so we also wanted to create a network of women farmers that would, share best practices, serve as mentors. You'll hear a little bit about that today, so that, we have this network of people that can empower other women in agriculture. And of course, to also build a partnership amongst the educators serving these women. So all in all, those are the goals of our Annie's project. And so like at the national level, we do focus on whole farm education. So dealing with, enhancing farm viability through improved whole farm risk management, and the 5 category of business risk or farm risks. But we also, as I said before, really try to hone in on that food system risks. And especially since we are so many small farms, we really wanted to help our women understand the role of partnerships and alliances and so on in helping them be successful. So that food systems risk is a big part of what we do here in West Virginia. So I will let Emily talk about our Gateway program. Emily?
Thanks, Dee. So my name is Emily Morrow. I'm based in Jefferson County, West Virginia as a county agent, and I facilitated Annie's project and some of our subsequent programs that have kind of arose out of Annie's project, which we'll get into in just a couple minutes. So we kind of consider Annie's project to be the gateway program into extension, and some of these ladies will probably highlight that when they share a little bit more about their operations. We kind of draw people in with the fact that Annie's project is a program that is geared specifically towards women, so they feel comfortable coming and sharing and learning from other people and building that network and that camaraderie. And a lot of times these women get contact with their county agents, maybe in a way they haven't had before, and then they maybe end up going on into participating in several of our other programs we host through Extension, some of those being our Master Gardener program, other county trainings we do annually, our agritourism initiative, some beginning farmer programs we do on the county level. We do food safety trainings on a regional and a statewide level as well. Sometimes their best route is to direct these folks to our supporting agencies like NRCS, Farm Credit, FSA. We in Extension sometimes tend to be kind of a one-stop shop for people, and if we don't always have the resources or assistance to help someone in the way they're looking, we can point them to the direction of those people that will, like our other partnership agencies. And Annie's project has kind of spun into a lot of other different programs we do in Extension too. It's kind of been the rooting place of where our agritourism initiative and our Women in Agriculture conference have spun out of there too. And I'll let Dee talk a little bit about the agritourism program.
Yeah, so one of our Annie's Inspired program is our West Virginia Agritourism Initiative, simply because there were so many women that attended Annie's project that wanted to diversify and increase their farm revenue and cash flow situations and so on. So out of that was born the West Virginia Agritourism Initiative. And so what we strive to do with that program, again, is use that whole farm or that holistic approach to growing agritourism to have these operations, rooted in sustainability, meaning being profitable and having those community connections and building on environmental stewardship. And so like Annie's project, we cover all of those different risks: production, financial, marketing, human resources, as well as legal risks associated with starting and maintaining a successful agritourism operation. And out of the Agritourism Initiative, we have 2 of our panelists today are actually members of what we call the West Virginia Agritourism Association. Again, it's a network of really wonderful agritourism operators that help to drive agritourism development in West Virginia, but also to help mentor those up-and-coming agritourism operations. The next agritourism, Annie's Inspired program is our West Virginia Women in Agriculture Conference. Emily?
So our Women in Agriculture Conference was started in 2014. Like Dee mentioned, we started Annie's Project in West Virginia in 2012. So a couple of years after running Annie's Project, the idea was kind of born out of having a statewide program. We hold Annie's Project on a regional level, so we might have people coming from 2, 3, 4 different counties to a central site to do those programs. But the statewide conference was a way to get everybody together. And we have highlighted our statewide conference on a national level through some of our other channels. But just to give everybody a little bit of a background, West Virginia, if you're not familiar with us, we are really diverse. We're diverse in the types of production we have. We're diverse in geography, and we are really diverse in topography as well. It can take a long time to get from one point of the state to another. So our conference is unique in that we rotate around the state every year. We do this so we can make sure that people can get to the conference. We mentioned that our farmers in West Virginia are limited resource producers, so they oftentimes might not have the time or the effort to travel great distances, so we can hold the conference kind of in their backyard. We kick off our first day, and actually our conference is next week. Our 2023 conference is going to be next week. We kick off our first day with tours. We know that women learn best from each other, and they love to be in a space where they can ask questions and see things. I know myself, I'm a super visual learner, so when I get out on a farm and I see how someone else is doing things, it makes it easier to visualize how you can take that back and implement it yourselves. So our attendees can choose from livestock or horticulture. Those are our most prevalent types of agriculture production in West Virginia. They spend the afternoon going to 3 or 4 different tour stops. They come back, we have dinner, and the next day we have a day packed of educational sessions. Our attendees can attend sessions around livestock, horticulture, finance, and usually we have an extra track topic that's a little bit of a grad back. We also highlight our other agencies. They come, they set up tables, so we can connect folks with them as well if that's some of their needs. We get people, I know these women on the call that you'll hear from in just a couple minutes have participated in the conference in one way or another. Some of them have been tour stops for us, and some of them have been speakers themselves. We try really hard to make sure that our sessions feature other female West Virginia speakers, that they can share a little bit about their farms. Maybe if folks couldn't go to the tour, we kind of bring the tour to them a little bit on Saturday. So it's an event we always look forward to. We love getting the chance to network with each other and see each other every year. And we're really excited that it's just going to kick off again next week.
All right, so thanks, Emily. So this is the part where we actually bring in our panelists, so we can hear a little about them. So I will come out of here, and we are going to lead off with Brittany. We will first show you a video of Brittany's farm, and then we will take it from there. So we're going to toggle between video and then PowerPoint and speaking, so bear with us while we make these transitions, okay? Oh, hold on. I forgot to do the thing. Okay, I got it. So just let me know if you guys can. Do you guys see the screen?
We're seeing your desktop. Go ahead and open that.
Okay, so I have to do.
Zoom really doesn't like double screens, does it?
I know. I thought I had it all. Thought we had it all set up, but maybe not. Share. New share. Okay, that's what I need to do. There we go. Better?
It is.
Do we see it?
Yes, we see it.
And you hear it.
And you hear it.
Family Roots Farm was homesteaded in 1775, and it's been in the Hervey family ever since. And we decided we were blessed with this land, let's put it to use. So that's kind of how Family Roots Farm formally started. The maple part of our farm has really grown. We started with the 20 taps, and now we're pushing 1,000 taps. What really has changed in our maple business is in 2015, we submitted our maple sugar for like a judging contest. To much of our surprise, we were awarded first place at the international conference, and that was a turning point for our business. It brought great opportunities. One opportunity was everyone wanted to come see our sugar shack and how we make maple syrup. And at the time, it was like a 10 by 10 metal stranded building in my parents' driveway. So we looked at it as an opportunity to build the sugar shack that we operate in today. And that's what made us turn more into a commercial operation and really focusing on those value-added products. We started Family Roots Farm in 2013, and I attended my first Women in Agriculture conference through WVU Extension, and I learned about Annie's Project. And we attended our first Annie's Project class. And Dr. D says, how do you set your price for your products? And we set it by our Google search. And she about fell off her chair. She said, you Google search, and if you Google a gallon of maple syrup, you can find it from anywhere very, $20 up to $80. I mean, it's a very wide scale. So that was our first lesson, was how to make an enterprise budget. And we never even heard that terminology before. Being active and taking a lot of the training courses is how we got our farm where we are today. And it would not be possible without our resources and network of folks, WVU Extension, SARE, NRCS. It took what we felt was a hobby to a business, but all along we did have that business, and Dr. D made us see that. And not only did she make us see it, but she made us believe it. There's so many great resources out there that have provided us with education, technical support, and financial support that we wouldn't be where we are today.
I have worked with Family Roots Farm as long as I've been.
Okay, so I'm going to transition from that back to
engaged in the maple
Oops.
scene down.
Okay, I can get him off. So that Mike Recklin is one of the resources we were able to connect and Brittany with, and yeah, so she will take it from here. So let me, again, we're doing some creative. Here we go. All right, so Brittany, you take it away.
Well, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. And that video that we did with Sarah really highlights, Annie's project and what it's done for us, and the impact that it's had on me as a person and our family and our farm is just something that I'll be forever grateful for. So when we joined Annie's project, it was in 2014, and at that time, we didn't know all those acronyms that you hear, NRCS or FSA. We had no idea. And the biggest part of our project was pulling all those resources together. And that was one of my favorite nights of our meetings, is when they were there and we got to meet with our, local representatives and build that relationship with them. And I still get a chuckle every time about Googling our prices, but we had honestly no business sense, and we didn't come from an agriculture background either. So we were kind of the blind leading the blind until we got connected with Dr. D and West Virginia Women in Agriculture and Annie's Project. So from there, it sparked this energy that we can do this, and we have this, we have a business right before our eyes. So that's when we turned our hobby into a business. So I kind of like to show like the improvements. So we started with nothing on our property. It was just open hay fields that was in our family, for centuries. And why not put it to use? So over time, it's grown, and we've been able to make these additions to our land, the high tunnels, the fencing, spring developments, all through our local conservation district. We are able to make sure that we are assessing our risk along the way. So for our you-pick strawberries, a crop in West Virginia that can be very challenging with our weather patterns. We work with FSA for the women provided crop insurance program. This is all resources right here that we would not know that existed without starting with Annie's project years ago. But something that's happened throughout the years, we've transpired, and while we were really heavily produce driven, our maple syrup awards have really turned the table on our business. Something I sat back at Annie's project and heard about agritourism. I said, that's not for us. We're never going to do it. That opened that pathway. And we looked at it as an opportunity to grow our business. So now, while we may not be at as many farmers markets, we have a really strong presence online, on our online store and several retail locations as well. And when I was sitting at a Farm Her conference in Iowa in 2019, I was telling my story to this wonderful lady sitting next to me. She said, how did you get where you are? And I said, well, I took this wonderful program, Annie's Project. And I'm going on and telling her my whole spiel. And here it was Ruth. And she was so kind. I was like starstruck. So I was like, can I take a selfie with you? And it was just so wonderful that our paths had crossed, and how much the program has had an impact on our farm. This isn't too exciting of a graphic. I really want to make a map to show how we all are connected in some way. But this is we call them our team of resources, and I'm sure there's some that I may have not included here. But when you all work together, it's an amazing outcome, and everyone's there to support each other and lift each other up when maybe sometimes you fall on hard times, or to celebrate with you as well. So in West Virginia, we're really unique in the sense that we have that great sense of commodity. So we don't look at each other as competitors in sense, we look at each other as teammates. So while we make maple syrup, I have one of my very good friends also makes maple syrup, and we team up and we build each other up, and we have events together so that we both succeed. And it just creates a community and a culture that we can be proud of. So we have to start somewhere. And in the video, I was sharing some things, and these moments here were back in, 2012, before we took Annie's project. But we were so proud then of our fall ribbons on our little sugar bags, and we were so proud of our maple syrup and our wonderful sugar shack there. But it just shows that you have to start somewhere, and oftentimes I think people forget that, and you see the big picture and they get overwhelmed, and then you just work to improve. So that's our story, and I thank Dr. D and all those in West Virginia that have connected us to Annie's project and to other wonderful women in agriculture.
All right, thanks so much, Brittany. So next up is Ladina with Snowy Creek, Dorset. So we'll get her video up and running. Let me see if I can do this the right way. And then we'll hold questions. I'm sure you guys have questions for Brittany and Ladina and Donna coming up. And so we'll take those at the end. But let us queue up this video, and hopefully it will work this time. I'm not sure why I didn't start at the beginning. Can you guys see that?
Yes, Dee, and we can hear it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, we could hear it. Now it seems like
the sound isn't up yet. Now do you hear it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Welcome to Snowy Creek, Dorset's. We started here in 2003. This was my parents' farm. I grew up here. We're dairy farmers and decided that was too much work. We were getting older and wanted something that was a little less intense. So we started out with 9 sheep in 2000, and now we have about 250 sheep and lambs. So this is what we do in our spare time, of course. We work with WVU a lot with our cattle. When we had the dairy farm, kind of came up with a plan that we wanted Dorsets because they breed out of season. So, like I said, we started out with 9 sheep and a ram and grew to, at one time we had over 300. We're back to about 250 now. Our son decided a few years ago, he was in Savannah, Georgia, that he wanted to come back to the farm. And so since then, we've kind of expanded our buildings and made ease of use things we have added. So this barn is part of that ease of use. We can put all the sheep in the wintertime now, which makes so much easier feeding and handling and lambing. And we also put in a weigh or sorter machine to help with the handling. We don't have to grab each animal and manhandle them. So lambing season, which we usually go February to April, you're going to spend 16 hours in the barn a day. And it doesn't matter whether you have an outside job or whatever, you just spend a lot of time here. Most farmers today work out. Make sure your farm makes enough to cover the farm and you're not sinking everything you make into the farm. It has to be a business, and businesses have to make money. So not everyone is cut out for farming. A lot of people think, oh, this is so nice, let's try it. You know, it's outside, it's in the country. And a lot of farmers fail. The one thing I learned through Annie's project was we have to get the worth of our product, and farmers just sell and take whatever anybody gets us. So Lindsay, with his marketing degree, he has his master's in marketing, really took what I learned in Annie's project and told Mark about, and then they've gotten together, and marketing is the key to a successful farm business. And farms have to be ran as a business or you're always struggling. Neither one of us have a college education, but we have used extension, Bill Shockey with extension, D-Sing with Annie's project, Marlon Knights with the sheep, and Dr. Inskeep, who's retired. They have helped us in every area that we have.
All right, so I think we can get the gist of that. And I think Ladina is going to talk for a few minutes, and then we'll transition over to Donna. So, Ladina?
Okay, well, first I'd like to thank Dee for getting the word out about our farm, and Annie's project for just the knowledge that we've had. I mean, I would recommend anyone take Annie's project. And women in agriculture, I can't emphasize enough how great it is to get all the women together and just have a 2-day conference. And it's just amazing. And just the networking that goes on is just awesome. One of the things that we just received was the Mon Conservation District Award for Century Farm. The farm has actually been in our family for 131 years. And I know after hearing Brittany of 4 decades, or 4 centuries, that's not very much. But my great-grandfather bought the farm in 1892, and we now have 6 grandsons living on the farm, which means so much to me. It wants to bring me to tears because, you know, just knowing that the farm is going to the next generation is an awesome thing. And another thing I wanted to add is Annette Flex's birthday, I share with her, which is kind of cool. I didn't know that. But Annie's project, you know, just to highlight a few of the things that it did for me was, first of all, it made me learn to know my customer, what they want, what they need, and to meet those needs and be consistent about meeting those needs. And marketing, I cannot say enough about marketing, because Before, we always took our product and went to the stock sale. And if you really want to get ripped off, take your product and go to the stockyard. You've got to get out there and market. And once you do that, you realize how much you've lost doing it any other way. And I think the hardest thing was to know your cost. We like to produce, but we also need to we also need to cover our costs. And I think Annie's project really brought that home to me, because we never knew what our costs were, exactly how much did we need per lamb to cover the fuel and the feed and the vet and, everything else that's associated with farming. And another thing that it really brought home is running farming as a business, because too many times we just run it more as a hobby. I mean, you're living off of it, but you also have those outside jobs that let you do a little more. But if the farm doesn't cover the farm, you're always running behind. So, and farm tours. I think one of the best things that farmers can do is show people who do not know farming what farming is, and understanding that we are family farms. We live off these farms, we produce our own food, and we're not trying to kill anybody or poison anybody, that we are really growing healthy products that are good not only for the economy, but for us and for our consumers. And I think Annie's project truly brought all that home, and we have used those tools. And so I'm looking forward to the next round in our counties. I know we don't have an extension agent right now, but I think there's a lot of young women coming on that need Annie's project.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Ladina. So
You're welcome.
Let's shift to Donna. And I hope you guys are appreciating the diversity of agriculture that is West Virginia agriculture. Of course, we have our cow-calf operations and all the run-of-the-mill normal activities, but I think we chose these women because they're unique, but they're also representative of all the other unique operations that we have in West Virginia. It makes it challenging for people like Emily and Alex and I to sort of cater to all these diversified needs, but it's a wonderful landscape of agriculture that we have here. So
if I may be, I also think that highlights very well where risk management education is important, because it can reach all people, no matter their enterprises.
Yes. All right. So Donna, you can take it away.
Donna, you're muted.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate you guys asking me to be part of this today. This is exciting, and I love talking about what we do at Brookdale. And Emily, can you hear me okay now? Am I cutting in and out?
Yes, you're coming in good.
Coming in good. Okay, well, great. So so here is a picture of one of the pieces that we do here at Brookdale. We are a very diversified operation. And I'll tell you a little bit about the history, but this picture shows an event building that we have on the farm now. We added this. This is the last enterprise that we did add back in 2013. It's what we call the Stadel. We're German, so that means barn in German. So we do a lot of weddings. We have Farm Bureau dinners. We have an FFA banquet tomorrow night down there. We let the community use it. We work with WVU Medicine and Potomac Valley Hospital to have all kinds of everything from exercises to educational classes there. And so many more groups come in and use the event building here at Brookdale. To tell a little bit of history about it, and Dia, I guess we can go ahead. I'm not sure. My computer, when I was sending this through to Dee, was acting up and wouldn't send. I had to keep deleting pictures, so I'm not sure what what she finally got through. So this is another enterprise that we do. This is our corn maze, and we started it in 2002. But to go back just a little bit, my father passed away when I was 19, going on 20 years old, and my brother and I were still at home and helping on the dairy farm. And when my father passed away, my brother and I took over the dairy farm, but it was in bad shape. We were pretty deep in debt, and we had to try to save the farm. And so my mother wanted nothing to do with the dairy farm. I had a boyfriend at the time, and thank goodness he wanted to be a farmer, because he later became my husband, and we just celebrated our 30th anniversary. So I must not have worked too hard on him, but we did diversify. We tried vegetables and produce for a little bit, but dairy farming is a lot of work. And so vegetable farming is just as much work. So we decided not to do that. We researched a little bit, and we went into a corn maze. And so this is our corn maze in our first year was 2002. And it was actually, this isn't a picture of it. It was much smaller. We're at 5.5 acres now, and probably an acre of pavilions and playgrounds and an animal area. And this one is a more recent one. We change our theme every year. So this is 2017. This was our train theme. And so this past year we did Ag Across America was our 2023 theme. And we have approximately about 18 to 20,000 people that come through Brookdale Farms Corn Maze every year. And I'll let you see what the next slide is that I sent you. So this is, we do greenhouses also. We have over 10,000 square foot of greenhouse space. We do annuals and a few perennials, and it's all retail space. And we're getting ready to put up another greenhouse this year. So that we also grow pumpkins for our corn maze and our pumpkin patch. So we have our starter plants in the greenhouse. This is one of the, yeah, you can go ahead, Dee. The next slide shows some of our agritourism activities. We have pedal cart, instead of a go-kart track, we have a pedal cart track, and we have races that we get all the families and kids involved in, and we have a petting farm. And the next slide shows our school tours. We do school tours every day of the corn maze that we're open. We open middle of September, and we go clear to the 1st of November with school tours. We get every daycare, every elementary school, some middle schools here in the area, and we educate them on agriculture, everything from where milk comes from, getting to see a bunny, a goat, lamb. We give the sheep a haircut, and we work with different organizations. CEOS is the bottom picture. They come in and do a recycling class with the kids. This gentleman that's giving the sheep a haircut is Farm Credit, so we work with them. And we have different people to come in and show us their expertise, or show the kids their expertise, and work with us and help us make the most for these kids to learn about agriculture, because you'd be surprised. We're not only teaching the kids anymore, but we're teaching the kids' parents about agriculture. Next picture. And then this is a picture of our event building again. This is the front side with the bride looking out the window up top. And then we have the fire pit in the background and a pond. And so we do a lot of weddings. We do a lot of events like I was mentioning before. And we do work with a lot of organizations in the community that we try to support. We always try to raise money. This coming Sunday, we have a fundraiser for child abuse in the area. So CASA will be coming in and doing a bingo, and we just let them use the venue to raise money for that. Oh, and we were also, I think Dee might have a picture of this. This is my family and some flowers from the greenhouse. My sons, Devin, and my youngest son, Derek. This is a little bit older picture. Derek is one that wants to come back into the farming. And he works for a construction company right now as a layout guy for when they lay out the corners of buildings and stuff. But he wants to come back to the farm and be a farmer in the worst way. We are now back into vegetable production. We work with WVU Medicine with the pharmacy program and raise produce for our county. And then this coming year, we've talked to Allegheny County, the Cumberland Hospital, and I believe we're going to double what we did last year for the pharmacy program and raise produce for that. And my son is heading that up. He also raises beef on our farm and wants to become a producer in that. and he wants to take over the corn maze. So hopefully he's going to keep his daytime job and be able to do all this other, but mom and dad certainly do help him a lot, even though we were kind of backing out of some of it. We're going to continue the event building and we're going to continue the greenhouses, but the maze, my son will take over. All of these aspects of Brookdale Farm is made possible by the people that we work with and the extension agents and the extension service through WVU, especially Dr. D, has made possible so many things that we've done here at Brookdale Farms. The corn maze has gone on for 22 years. So we're probably one of the oldest agritourism. I used to call it agritourism or agritainment. It's now officially agritourism since I'm part of the Agritourism Association. I'm so excited to be a part of that. I'm excited to be here today to talk about how important Annie's project was to this farm to make it a success. And my one co-panel person talked about how you have to make sure that each entity is a profitable entity. And we do, we keep books and we keep them separate. Each entity has to make its own, pay its own bills, make its own way, and have a profit. If it doesn't have a profit, then we eliminate it. So currently we have the event building, we have the greenhouses, and we have the corn maze, and all of them are profitable. One of them is way more profitable than the other two. But all of them bring people here to the farm. And our main goal when we started any of these was to promote agriculture. Back when my father passed away, I was one of the few women in agriculture in this area and had a very limited voice. Farmers would come in here and want to know where the person was in charge that made the decisions and could talk to. And I'm like, well, I'm right here. At that time I was doing all the finances. I was making the decisions on milking dairy cows and raising the calves and the heifers, milking twice a day. And my husband and my brother were taking care of the crops, but I was doing all the other decisions. But I didn't have a credible voice. Annie's project gave me that credible voice and a network to work with other women in this area. And we still work with each other. We still, to this day, after 22 years of a corn maze, but not only that, since 1986, we've worked together. But when Annie's project came out, it gave me a louder voice. And the networking, we've been able to do so much just in this area with the women. Women in Ag, I've been a speaker at Women in Ag. It's so valuable. And I wish I could go next week, but I'm also on a farm credit board and I'll be talking about agriculture in DC. And so I won't be able to go to it, but it's such a valuable resource for us women in agriculture, the tours that they take and the stories that we share and the things that we learn from each other. And also with the agritourism. We had an agritourism summit this past March and got together with some other agritourism businesses that I had never met before. And while we still talk, we still meet up with each other and we share our challenges and we share our successes and work together to help each other become a success. And so I'm so thankful for Annie's project. If you haven't become a part of that, please do. And please become an attendant or a participant in the Women in Ag, as well as joining Agritourism. It's a great association and giving a voice to our agritourism business in the state. So thank you.
Thanks, Donna. And I'm looking at the chat, and I guess you guys are understanding that what we know in West Virginia is that our women are indeed rock stars. So, the curse of the competence, ladies, I think what I'm seeing in the chat is now everybody wants to come visit your farms. So, I think we've got to arrange, maybe the next Annie's conference could be hosted in West Virginia, Doris and Carisha. How about that? I think that's a great.
We'd love to see them here.
There we go. So I think we'll field some questions now, Doris, Carisha.
Yes. Well, first of all, fantastic. And thank you all for everything, not just the good words you had to say about Annie's, but boy, for being steadfast and developing your farms and your communities and helping each other. Wow, just a great testimony to all of you. But we'll open it up for questions now. And so if you have some, please, I know we've gotten some comments about loving to hear the stories and things. There's been some things going back and forth, but certainly attendees, please feel free to put your questions in the chat, and we'd love to pose some questions. Or So
it's like,
I do have a question for all of you. How did you first hear about Annie's project? What was, or and what was the impetus for getting started? Was it Dr. D that pulled you all in, or were there other people? How did this get started? And kind of what did you think when you first got started? Was it something you were eager about, or were you a little, I'm not so sure about this thing?
Well, personally, I'd met Dr. D, and it started through extension, and my job outside of the farm is farmland protection. So I put easements on farms and make them farms perpetually. So when I heard about Annie's project, I thought, oh, I love to hear Dee talk, number one. And number two, I thought, I'm going to take this. So I did. And then we did Annie's 2, and it's like, oh, isn't there an Annie's 3? We just made such a camaraderie with all the people. But yeah, it was all through extension that I got to know Annie's project.
For me, it was through extension also. I worked with my county extension agent always. I've been the treasurer for our livestock association since 1983. So just been working really close with the extension office. And I've been in, 2012, I might've been one of the first ones that took Annie's project. I'm not sure. It was somewhere in its beginning and its inception. So, and along the way, I met Dr. D and just really respected her. And then my county extension agent contacted me to be part of Annie's project, or maybe I was on a call with Stacy, my county extension agent, when she was talking to D. I'm not sure, but it was extension.
And I was extension as well. So it goes to show all the great work that extension does in West Virginia. And specifically, it was the first Women of Agriculture conference I attended, and I came right home, and I think like a couple weeks later, we started Annie's project.
Yeah, and I remember the first time I met Brittany, they were our international agribusiness competition winners, is what I was calling them. And I said, hey, you guys have got to sign up for Annie's project in your area. So just a shout out to these ladies, is they're Annie's project facilitators. So with Ladina, she was in Preston County with Bill Shockey. He's one of our trained facilitators. Donna is with Stacy Hoffman. She's trained as well, and Brittany was Karen Cox. And we do have Alex Smith on here. I promise you, that's not what Alex looks like. That is a picture of her goat, but she's much prettier than that goat. But she's also one of our trained facilitators as well in West Virginia.
We do have a question that's popped up in chat. It's, what aspect of Annie's project has helped you the most in your ag experience?
As for me, I think it has been that you have to run your farm, you have to run it as a business, because we are so used to taking things to the market or selling things cheap. And I remember that was the first thing that Dee emphasized really strongly, is make sure you're getting your worth. And I think that is something that has truly come along with, as far as the farmers markets go, is people are now getting their worth. I mean, it's expensive to buy food. And if you want really good, homegrown, know what's on it food, you have to pay a little more. And the consumer doesn't seem to mind that.
For me, Annie's project, no matter which aspect of Annie's project, it's definitely been the networking has been the the best thing. You share your successes and your challenges. But also in Annie's project itself, when I went through that, I'd already taken over the farm and the finances, and I minored in accounting in college. So I had some financial background, but the business plan, when we went over that, how important it is to have a business plan and look out 5 to 10 years and be able to know what your goals are and what your focus needs to be. That was really important for me. That's one thing that I remember. It's been a number of years since I've had Annie's project, But I do remember that the business planning, that was one area I was a little bit weaker in, and they were able to bring expertise into our sessions, and I definitely took that away. And I shared that with my son, who is now trying to take over the farm aspect, at least the agritourism corn maze part of it.
And for me, I would reference back to those enterprise budgets. So with us, our maple side of the business, we do tons of value added products. Setting the prices before, we did just do a Google search. We didn't have any idea of how much we had invested in it. We did not account for our fixed assets either, or our labor. So now every item that we make on the farm has a specific enterprise budget that shows us our profit before and after those fixed cost. So I think that's probably had the most impact on like the success of our business, because while we all love what we do, at the end of the day, we do need to hit a profit so that we are sustainable in more ways than just one.
If I may, Doris, I see that Ruth have in the comments, she said she loved how these women have stepped into their leadership roles. If I would, I'd probably ask them to talk about, their role as mentoring other farmers and other women in agriculture.
You read my mind. That's exactly what I was just going to ask. So please, ladies, let's hear from you as far as, how Annie's has influenced your leadership, and then the mentoring of other farmers, please.
Well, one of the ways that I have mentored is through my daughter-in-law. She's city girl, 100%. Loves gardening now. Understands that there's pros and cons to farming, but it's one of those things, it's a lifestyle, you love it or you hate it, and she has really embraced it. And it used to always be that farmers were kind of and I don't mean this in a bad way, but kind of second class citizens, and we're not. We're truly leaders, and we're conservative people heading up the conservation of our land, and teaching people those aspects and realizing that you can make money on a farm. Now you're going to work to do it, but you can make money and you can live the lifestyle that you want to live.
Yeah, and I would have to add to that. That was very good. My children definitely started there, and their friends. I've been involved in 4-H and FFA. Like I said, I'm on our livestock association board, and we have 4-Hers and we have FFA members that come in here. They help me with school tours. They work in the greenhouses. They work on the farm. We even get, my boys were both in sports, so we still have sports teams that come out here to the farm. And if we have, we allow one of the local high schools to come in and do a 5K. Well, they come in and help us work, but we also, teach them about, how to, if they have an interest in a certain area, we try to take them under our wing and really highlight the pros and cons of that area that they have interest in. But we try to work a lot with 4-H and FFA, especially to mentor to and we also have Potomac State College students come down here and help us at the school tours, and we mentor to them, and we keep in touch with them. We have kids that have graduated and went on, and some of them into agriculture, and they come back to us and thank us for, helping them to understand maybe something that was taught in Annie's project or through 4-H or through FFA. And we shared it with them, and it helped them in their enterprise.
For me, I guess it's the confidence I like to pass on, that, as a woman in agriculture, as a woman in any industry, that you are an asset, you are valuable. I'm very fortunate in the sense that my family growing up, our farm since the 1800s has been women driven and women owned and operated, which is really really cool. And from my, great grandmothers that harvested the grain and shipped it on rail, to my grandma that ran the dairy that was here, and how it's transpired, I like to share that story with others, whether you're in a farm or in another industry. Be confident in what you do, and be proud of what you do, and share that with others. And I think just sometimes sharing our story can have the greatest impact on young women. And the other thing that I'm really proud of to do is taking agriculture in the classroom. So a lot of the times hosting farm events here, it's been education driven, and that's opened up doors beyond that I ever thought, where I'm actually now teaching at an independent school different agriculture programs from 4th grade to 8th grade. So.
Great.
Well, ladies, any final words? We are at the top of our next hour here, but if you have any final words that you'd like to share with us before we end, we'd love to hear those.
Well, I just thank you for doing this. I thank, for Annie's project and the growth that it's had. And when you are a woman in farming, you are a minority. And number two, you're stepping into a man's world, and they don't always respect that. But I think through Annie's project and just the fact that women are successful in agriculture, it gives you a lot of confidence, and you realize that it's not just a man's world. It's a human being world, and we all benefit.
I'd like to share one more thing, and that would be to take advantage of all your resources. Definitely work with Dee. She is a wealth of knowledge and knows so much and can point you in the right direction and help you with any of the challenges you had. But Dee, through the WVU extension, all the extension agents, but not just that, but Chamber of Commerce in your area if you're wanting to get into agritourism, whatever road you're wanting to take, whatever path you're wanting to take. There are so many resources out there that can help you along the way. Take advantage of those. And in the long run, you're going to help each other. And thanks for doing this. This was great today. Hope somebody got something from what I said and shared my stories out.
Yeah, and I'd like to add to her comment, farms need to join the chamber. The chamber really has a lot to offer. That's something we did a year or two ago, and I was just kind of amazed.
Yeah, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And I just hope that our stories here in West Virginia have inspired others, and keep the movement and keep spreading women in agriculture.
Yeah, thank you all, ladies. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Alex. Thank you, ladies, for joining us today. And yeah, that's it from West Virginia, folks. Thank you for joining.
Can't think of a better way to close out our 2023 showcases. Thank you all for that.
Thank you all.
And we look forward to seeing you in December as we celebrate Annie's birthday and have kind of our final 20th anniversary event. So looking forward to seeing hopefully all of you back for that.